Hi, my name is Patrick Collins, and I'm a solutions engineer here at Excelis Visual Information Solutions in Boulder, Colorado. And I'm here today to talk to you about GIS, Geographic Information Systems, and remote sensing science, and how they're sort of coming together to answer new problems and questions that we have in the industry. So as you can see by my whiteboard drawing over here, we have GIS over here on the right, and we have our remote sensing over here on the left. GIS as a field of study came out of more of sort of the mapping realm of things as time progressed, and in the early days it was sort of cartography and mapping of lands and areas that people held, and in today's world this comes down to people measuring things, lines and vectors, and the ability to take these points, lines, and polygons and put them on a map to be able to depict certain features by these different polygons. As you can see here, this is kind of a map with these different areas drawn out. This is a good sort of rough drawing of a map that would have different parcels on it, per se. That would be these lines or these polylines that depict certain areas that represent certain things on the ground. These are used for, housing, surveying, sort of cadastral type industries and things like that. Over here on the left, you have remote sensing. So remote sensing as a field of study came a little more out of sort of the defense community, and that comes down to really being able to analyze pixels. Pixels come from things like satellites, different kinds of aerial cameras that people mount onto planes, UAVs nowadays, things like that. And this is sort of a depiction of a remote sensing data set, which is known as a raster data set, and it is composed of a bunch of different pixels that have different numbers associated with them that correspond to the amount of light that gets reflected back from the object on the ground. And what remote sensing analysis does is it looks at all these pixels and basically tries to find pixels that fit certain characteristics that we can confidently say identify certain features or objects of interest on the ground. Over time, these different industries sort of grew up separately, but in the past, decade or so, a couple of decades, they've really come together, where you can see how the information contained in a raster data set and the ability to identify certain features by their pixels, and the ability to overlay that over these detailed maps that show different, say, non-visible boundaries like, country lines, state lines, county lines, property lines, things like that, creates this sort of fused data product that allows you to answer questions relating information gained from both fields of study. So it's really a powerful way to sort of bring these two sciences together and use them in concert to be able to answer questions better than we might have been able to before. And then up here you have sort of new data modalities that have been coming into this sort of equation are things like full motion video, which you see with a lot of the UAVs that are flying around, and LiDAR, which is light imaging detection and ranging, which is basically bouncing lasers off things and getting not only geospatial coordinates, but height coordinates as well from those returns so that you can extract things like elevation models and do 3D mapping of your data. So I'm going to keep talking while I erase this and draw you one more little piece. So what this means to us here at Excelis is that we partner with what I would consider the best GIS software company in the world, which is ESRI. They're really well known. I'm sure the people watching this have heard of ESRI. So over here we'll have ESRI, best-in-class GIS software, and over here we'll have Envy, which is image analysis software developed here at Excelis. So I'm just going to talk to a couple of the different ways that we work with ESRI and how we sort of bring these two sciences together to answer questions. So you can think of a desktop level and a server level. ESRI and Envy are both desktop software products. Envy, here at Excelis, since we partner with ESRI, we create our software so that it integrates really well with ESRI products. For instance, in a desktop environment, if you're running an ESRI or an ArcGIS instance, you can embed ENVI functionality directly into an ArcGIS interface. So let's say these red marks are our ENVI analysis tools, and our interface is an ArcGIS interface. So we basically allow our algorithms to embed directly into the ArcGIS interface so that it's easier for people using ArcGIS to leverage the power of remote sensing technologies to further enhance the information that they pull out of their geospatial information. We do the same thing on the server level, where if you say have ENVI for ArcGIS for server, which is ESRI's server-based technology, we have a product over here called ENVI for ArcGIS. Services Edition. And what this does is this embeds a scalable, enterprise-level implementation of the ENVI software directly into the ArcGIS interface. So from there, you can share ENVI algorithms combined with ArcGIS processes through the entire ArcGIS ecosystem, which includes things like ArcGIS Online, custom clients that you might build, the ArcGIS mobile client, and things like that. Other ways that we've integrated these technologies are you have the ability, let's see, if I have an ENVI instance over here, or split monitors, let's say, and I have data over here in ENVI, I can literally just drag this data and drop it into ArcGIS. So these programs are fully compatible with each other at the software level so that they integrate right into the code. So you can literally just drag data sets over, drop them in here. You can also geolink these two maps. So if I'm looking at a specific object on one, they'll geolink. So if I move this screen will move as well. So it's sort of an interface, kind of a integration there. And beyond that, we do a lot with all the different file formats that both ESRI and ENVI create and consume. So we've done a lot of work at the sort of the data type level to be able to integrate each other's inputs and outputs more easily to sort of further enable the analysis between the two software programs. Other than that, we're also currently working in the full motion video and LiDAR space with ESRI to create sort of customized blended solutions, leveraging the benefits that each of us bring to the table with those different data modalities. And other than that, we're always just looking for new ways to integrate with ESRI to be able to create solutions that solve the problems that folks like you have and are working on in your industries today.